Good morning, Kabroda crew. Hope y'all are doing well here on this Wednesday. It's hump day, guys, and we're back in the charts today looking at what Bitcoin's up to, trying to see what we're doing for today, what kind of trades we can jump into. Yesterday we had a nice little pump back up, took back some of that price action back up above here. We were thinking it was actually not going to make it up there, but ended up proving us all wrong, flipping to the upside. Continued above that point of resistance we were talking about, broke through some of the 200s, and then just kept continuing all the way up to about 93 this morning. We were kind of topped out at 93, almost 94. So, pretty crazy little move there. If y'all stayed in it till the end, nice job. Kind of crazy move, but honestly, not too bad. So yeah, that's kind of what happened last night. Pretty crazy. Um, yeah, you'll have to let me know in the comments or in the chat if you guys got into that move there. We all here at Kabroda kind of jumped out here at the 88. When upon further review of it, though, we were kind of looking at maybe what was it? I believe it was like 90 something. We were looking at kind of getting out, or we should have actually pulled it. But it did prove us all wrong. Continued up all the way to that 93. So yeah, crazy little night there. Got the cold brew coffee today instead of the regular. Something a little different. I actually put in a little bit of some chocolate stuff today, so it's like a little mocha or something. Pretty good. But yeah, we'll just jump in here, get the battle box started, kind of see where we're at today. So I'm gonna head on over to our battle box scene here. I already got it pulled up here. If you guys want to follow along with me on the battle box here, you can check it out. There's a link in the description with all you'll need, basically. So just go ahead and open up the description, click on the link, follow it over there, and then you can follow along with me. Feel free to pause, rewind, anything you need. It is your video you're watching, so we're just gonna kind of run through it. Pretty slow pace, really, but if you're not able to follow, it's all right. Just go ahead and rewind a little bit. All right, so basically, whenever we get this started, it's going to ask for a couple different screenshots on the charts. It's going to ask for our FRVP levels, for some different liquidity points, and then some context that we have here. And we can go ahead and grab the context first, and then we'll run back to the charts. One quick note is we have updated it recently. So we used to say that you guys could use the quad view to get the 4 screenshots. And you still can if you want, but we found it's actually more accurate to get all 4 screenshots just because it's not so like small, because the battle box has a hard time reading it when it's so small. Not that it can't, but it does a lot better of a job when it's actually just reading the chart straight out. So it is better to get 4 screenshots instead of the 1 quad view. But it's still up to you. So if you want a little bit more accurate, grab the 4 screenshots. If you're not as worried about it, just get the quad view. But just a little update there. So we're going to head on into our context now. I'm going to open up my Google here, just so we can find the website we want. And we're going to want a website called cryptocraft.com to get our news. And that's what we'll start with today. Cryptocraft.com just has all this news, how it's going to affect the crypto market specifically. So it's a real nice website, easy to read. Basically, how it works is you just kind of look at this impact here in the middle, and that'll tell you the impact. Right now, I have it set for the whole month, so you can see each day with the impact and what's actually happening for news-wise. But we're just going to go ahead and open up the day we want. So today's the 3rd, so go over here on the calendar on the left and click on the 3rd. And now you can see that it's just the news events for the 3rd specifically. So we got one at 1, one at 7, 7:30, 8:15, 9, 9:30, and 1 p.m. Looks like the only one we really have to worry about is one coming out here at 9. So the one at 9, that's a medium impact. So basically, we're going to want to wait about 15 to 20 minutes before and after that one. So if you're looking at taking a trade and taking, it's setting up at 8:45, you might want to just wait and see kind of what happens, because something with a little bit more impact like this could actually affect the market. And if, say, you're going to take the trade up and the news is bearish, then you could end up seeing a drop in price action pretty fast. So just general kind of rule of thumb. It's not always applicable. Sometimes the news helps you out. Sometimes the news doesn't matter at all, and nobody even pays attention to it. But just kind of a general rule of thumb to kind of think about as you're looking to trade. Something to know. So what we'll do here is we're going to grab a screenshot of this section. And the way I do that is just Windows key Shift and S, and that'll grab your screenshot there. And once you get that, we'll head back to our GPT here and just throw it in there. And there you go. You can see my screenshot. So I just took a little screenshot of the graph there. Next thing we're going to grab is the Fear and Greed Index. So we'll head back to Google, open up a new tab, type in Fear and Greed Index, and then you're going to want to go to CoinMarketCap. That's going to be the one that we're looking for. This is the Fear and Greed Index. You don't know what Fear and Greed is, basically. The idea is whenever we're in fear or more extreme fear, then that's when we're going to see price return back to more of the neutral zone. And if you get up into extreme greed up here, you're going to see the same thing, return back to neutral. So that's kind of the idea. You can see on the chart here that they have set up. You can see we kind of dipped down, got into fear, and then you kind of bounce back to that neutral zone. And then we swing to the other side, swing to some greed, bounce back, neutral, more greed, extreme greed, swings back. So it's kind of the idea. You kind of break into greed or fear, and then you kind of swing back to neutral. Always coming back to neutral. That's the idea. So whenever you see yourself in extreme fear or extreme greed, that's kind of where you really see that swing back even harder and faster. So we have been in extreme fear for the last couple of days, and you can see we're still pretty close to extreme fear. I believe 22 is out of it, but still pretty close. So something to pay attention to there. And I'm just going to go ahead and take a screenshot there of that. And I'll throw it in here as well. So you can see that's the screenshot I grabbed. And now we'll just go ahead and get the different time frames here. So I'm going to head to our trade view screen again. And this is where I'm going to get the time frame pictures. First step's the 4 hour here. What I like to do is kind of clean up my chart. So I'll open up the object tree over here, kind of scroll down to the lines I don't want. If I want to keep them on my chart, I'll just go ahead and hide them. If I don't want to keep them on my chart, I'll just delete them. But it's up to you on what you want on your chart, what you don't want on your chart. I believe you can also come over here and click this little eye tool, click over and say hide drawings. That should hide all of your drawings on your chart, all your lines, all your different levels that you might be drawing, anything like that. So either way you want to do it. I just like to have a clean chart so the battle box doesn't have any kind of lines or anything on it. Additional lines that it has to worry about. After that, I'll zoom out a little bit, and then I'll just double click all of these. That will set them to auto. So basically, trade view will kind of set the chart and try to frame it inside of your screen, and we'll set them like that, and then we'll just go ahead and take a screenshot. So Windows key Shift and S, screenshot the whole screen again, and then we'll just throw it in here. And then basically all the rest are the same, so you just do exact same thing. 1 hour should already be autoed. You just go ahead and screenshot it. $15. And it's pretty simple. It's not too complicated, honestly. 5 minutes next. It's just a little bit of back and forth. It's probably the easiest way is if you have two screens, use two screens for this. If you don't, you could also just do a side-by-side type thing. Kind of like, say we're doing it on this screen, we could just throw it like this. And you just screenshot it. Honestly, it might be a little hard to screenshot it, I guess. But you could do a up and down screenshot or a side by side up and down. But I don't know. Easiest way, yeah, is probably just doubles two different screens, really. Or you could just switch between the tabs all the time. A little tedious, like I said, but it's not that hard if you're going to get some good levels on your chart. Now we're going to get those 24-hour FRVP zones. So same thing, pretty easy. We're going to start off with going to the 1 hour. So this is the easiest chart to do this on, just nice and simple for us. And then basically what we're going to do is we're going to grab a tool over here, and then we're going to mark, with the tool, we're going to mark the 12 o'clock candle from yesterday and the 12 o'clock candle from today. 12 o'clock UTC, that is. So for me, that'll be -6 here in Texas. So basically what I'll do is go grab my tool over here. So from the crosshair, it's down 1, 2, 3, 4. Click on over. Then we're going to go to fixed range volume profile. And we're just going to go to that 6 o'clock candle. So Tuesday is yesterday to today at 6. Boom. And the way to tell if your candle's the 6 o'clock one, if you don't know already, is you just hover over it and it's at the very bottom. There's a time down here. Yeah, pretty basic trading view thing, but honestly, I could see somebody not knowing how to know what time it is, because you don't always use the times, So that's how you do it. These are our levels here now. So this red, yellow, and blue line, those are going to be our levels. Now what we're going to want to do, though, is actually get some different lines and then mark them out on our chart so that you can just nice and easily see the different lines just marked out. And then it's also will be easier here in a minute when we go and need to grab the coordinates for those lines. Because in this, you actually can't grab the coordinates even in the settings. Yeah, you can see we have bar 1 and bar 2. So it's not the coordinates that we're looking for with the 3 different lines here. It's actually just the lines here. So what we'll do is I already have my levels on here. These are going to be our 24-hour levels. So you can go ahead and make your own if you don't already have them. It's just Alt-J to get one of these lines. You can find them over here under first thing down from the crosshair. So the little stick here, they'll have a bunch of different lines you could use. You could use a ray, you could use a horizontal line, pretty much any of the, well, really just either of those two is probably the better ones. You could use a couple of the other ones, but they're honestly not that good. So that's what we'll use here is our horizontal ray. That's what I'm going to use. I already have marked here on my chart, and I went into the settings as well and changed the color of my line and also added a little thing over here so I can easily just see which level it is at a glance. The only thing that is kind of annoying about these lines is the fact that if you like, so let's say if you're a person that really likes to have a ton of lines in your chart, I could see these getting annoying because the lines, if you put some more lines on here, it's kind of gets hard to read the different titles you put on here like this. But for me, I like to have my charts somewhat clean, so I'll have I won't have a lot of lines like right around this area. So most of the time they're not too bad. I also went ahead and named him over here on my object tree. You can't see them because they're below. There we go. So you can see my different names here. I got my volume area high, my POC, and my volume area low. I also got the morning ones down here. That just makes it easy. So later, when I double click on these to grab the coordinates and stuff, they're just right in here. And the way to change the name over here in the object tree is you just open up the settings for the line and it's right at the top. Just change the name. Then it'll show up here in your object tree just like that. So we got our 24-hour ones there. We're going to go ahead and turn those back off now that we have them. And we're going to actually move the back end of this to 2 o'clock my time. So 2 o'clock -6 UTC. That'd be about 8 o'clock on UTC. So if you open up, if you just head to the 8 o'clock candle UTC, that's what we're going to use. 8 o'clock today, that is. So I'll head to my 2 o'clock. So 2 to 6, or UTC, that'll be 8 to 12 UTC. Pretty simple there. Just throw those on. I'm going to throw my chart lines on here that I already have. My volume area high, POC, and volume area low for the mornings. And I'm just going to drag and drop them right over my levels I just drew on here. And one thing to note about these is that any kind of support and resistance like this is going to be a zone. So basically, when we're drawing these on here, if you're not super accurate, like you want to get pretty close on it, but let's say you're off by like a couple hundred, or even for Bitcoin, like maybe a thousand. Well, maybe not 1,000, but if you're off by a couple hundred here, it's honestly not going to matter that much. That's like nothing for Bitcoin. So even if you're off by like 50 or something, it's really not going to matter. Like it's just a zone. So even if you're not exactly on, you're close enough that it's not going to matter for you. So just get them lined up as best you can. And then we can go ahead and delete this FRVP level. Now that we have all of our FRVP levels here, we don't actually need them. And we'll throw back on our different levels here. You can see our POCs actually line up pretty much exactly. It actually works out because POC is like the same, but you could see like how when I zoom in, they're all like slightly off, and the two POCs kind of get muddled. It gets hard to see what they really say there. So that's what I was kind of talking about earlier. But honestly, zoomed out, you don't even notice it. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and throw these lines into the chart now, into our battle box now. So these are pretty simple to put in, but what I like to do is just put in some levels, so then we can just go ahead and copy and paste them over. Nice and simple, and it's easy for us to read. So what I like to do is do FRVP levels, and then I'll go down to 2 lines, and the way that you do that is you have to hit shift and enter at the same time, and then I'll do 24 hours and do volume area high, point of control, and volume area low. And then I'll do the morning ones as well. So volume area high, point of control, and volume area low. And we'll also throw the 30-minute candle on here. And that'll just make it so we can throw those on there, and we'll get the high and the low. And then one extra thing I want to add today is, and this is how you can make the battle box a little more accurate too, is we're going to throw the weekly zones on here. So we'll throw the weekly levels on here. So weekly volume area high, weekly POC, and weekly volume area low. And we're going to grab those in just a second, but we're going to start off with the 24-hour and the warning ones we just got. Excuse me. So we'll go ahead and turn them on if you haven't already turned them on your trade view here, just like this. So I already have mine on. Not a big deal for me. I got my object tree open. I know where my lines are, so that's going to be the key thing here. The easiest way to do this is just double click here. You can actually use your line if you don't want to open up the object tree. You can click on the line, click on settings, get to it that way. I prefer to have my object tree open and just have them set up in a line, so I can just double click, copy, move to the next one, double click, copy, move to the next one. Just super easy for me. Just move down the list. So basically what we're going to do though is we're going to open it up, open the settings, go from, typically you'll open on style. You're going to want to click on the coordinates tab, grab the coordinates out of here, and then we'll head back to our GPT, and you're just going to paste it in the corresponding area. So that was our volume area high, so we'll throw it in the volume area high section, and then we'll move on to our POC. Same thing, POC section, boom. And then we'll move to the volume area low here. And that'll be it for our 24 hours there. And now we got to get those morning ones. So same thing for the mornings. Just double click, open up, copy it, and throw it into the volume area high. POC's next. And one thing to note too is whenever you use this, like whenever you change the tab to coordinates, next time you open up the settings, it'll be in the coordinates tab. So you can actually just copy and then paste it right in. You don't have to click on the coordinates tab every time. Okay, next we'll grab those weekly zones. So we'll head back here. And this is actually the first time we're going to show this on the live. But basically, you'll head to your weekly here. And you're going to go to last week's candle and grab, you're going to use the save tool, FRVZ zone. And we're just basically going to mark that one candle. So you can see we got our weekly 3 different levels. And I'm actually going to make some new lines. So I'm just going to do Alt-J and throw it on here. And we're going to make this into a weekly zone level. So weekly, we'll use we're going to use a regular line, obviously, and then let's see what color should we use. We should use, I don't think I have pink stuff right now, so, or no, my other lines are pink, actually. We'll use a like teal color. Oh, let's see, glow my candles. Colors are hard to find. We'll use this like salmon color. There you go. And basically, we'll change the name here to weekly volume area high. And that'll just make it where we can find it over there really easily. And then we're going to add some text over on the middle right. And we'll keep it white. And we'll say weekly volume area high. And then what we can do is just copy, oops. Copy and paste that 2 times. And then we can just go ahead and change the, instead of volume area high, we'll do POC for the middle one. And we'll make sure to change that as well on the text here, POC. And then for the bottom one, we'll do the same thing, but we'll change it to volume area low and volume area low. And that's just a really easy way to set them up. So now we got all 3 of our weekly zones on here. And I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop these into my FRVP folder, levels folder here. And that way I can just copy and paste them here too. I know some people just hover over it and grab them out of there. You're completely welcome to do that. I just feel like this is easier, but it's whatever. So we'll go ahead and open up our coordinates tab again and copy the levels out of there. Move to GPT and just throw them in. So you can see it's not too hard to set up the battle box here, set up the way we have it set up. Like I said, though, you're welcome to experiment, change some stuff. Let us know if you have any like crazy ideas. You're like, oh man, this would be great if you could do this, or oh, what if we moved it like this, stuff like that. So we'd be, oh man, I just flipped those around. Whoops. I was wondering, I was like, man, this looks weird. Here, we'll just change the letter here. We'll just do a weekly volume area low and then volume area high down here. Battlebox could figure that out. Next, we'll do that 30-minute candle. That'll be the last thing we'll throw on here. And I'm going to go ahead and close my weekly stuff, drop this FRVP zone, and then head to the 30-minute chart here. Okay, so at the 30-minute chart, we're going to want to grab that 6:30 candle. So that'll be 12:30 UTC, 6:30 here for me. Hover over it. You can grab the high and low from up top on your screen. Oops, my bad. Here you go. Up top on your screen, right under where it says Kabroda on my screen, there's a high and a low. You can grab those there as you're hovering over the candle. Or an easier way to do it, well, maybe not easier, but easier to see. Open up the object tree here, go to data window, and then you'll have your high and the low right here. And that just makes it easy to see for me. It highlights it over there, so not too hard. We got the high at 92,937. 92,937. And then we got our low here at 92,639. 92,639. Oops, 639. There we go. So we got our different levels on there. Got all of our FRVP zones, and we got all of our screenshots on there, news and fear and greed included. So we'll go ahead and send those in and see what the battle box has to say about today. Get a little sip of coffee before we start the battle box here. All right. So we got some different market level time frames here. So you got all 4 different time frames that we sent screenshots for: the 4-hour, 1 hour, 15, and 5-minute. These are basically just some TA with a little bit of summary at the ends there. Next, we got the sentiment screenshot, different levels that we have on the chart here. Trade strategy outlooks. Oh, sorry, I was just interested if it flipped it around, and actually did flip it around, so that's kind of nice. Got that trade strategy outlook. So things to watch out for as you're taking the trades, news risks, news events that could have issues, like we were talking about that 8:30 to 9:30ish area today. Price execution considerations, so things to watch out for as you were looking at jumping into some of the trades. Nice. Interesting. Something went wrong. Generating this response. I don't know what went wrong. I thought it did pretty good. We'll retry it, I guess. See what happens here. Always good to have cold brew in the morning. What? Okay, it wants a bookmap or screenshot. So I'm just gonna open up bookmap real fast and grab the screenshot here. If you guys don't already have bookmap, it's a free tool to see the um, volume on the chart, basically. So um, check it out, look it up, see what you can find about it. It's pretty cool. It is better if you pay for it, from what we found. Um, it's still somewhat usable, even if you don't pay for it. Obviously, we do not pay for it, so we just use the free version. But it is a lot better if you pay for it. So if you think it's good, if you like it, definitely worth it. Right here, I'm getting it set up right now. Once it opens up, I'll show you guys the screen. You guys could check it out. Um, if it opens, I guess. It's being kind of silly right now. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that. It's weird. I guess it needs the bookmap liquidity screenshot. Normally it doesn't need that, but whatever. And maybe that's what I'm missing right now. It's just that bookmap screenshot. All right, here we go. It's opening slowly. I'm gonna get another sip of coffee. I'm pretty sure like every time I open bookmap though, I have to like get some kind of add-on or something, or like install an update to it or something like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna guess here on what. All right, so if you haven't ever seen bookmap, this is what it looks like. Pretty crazy little software here. Basically, you got the different levels of support and resistance essentially on here. So any kind of line on the chart here throughout the chart is going to be where your support and resistance are. The red line or any red line. Let's see if we have another one. No, okay. So any red lines like that are going to be higher liquidity basically. So more than likely price is going to come up to the red lines. That's kind of the basics of it. Excuse me. So right now we have some red lines above us. Excuse me. Wow. Yellow is going to be like the next best thing for red, and then blue is like the lower. Like honestly, not anything you really have to worry about. So really, we're looking for where the red lines out. If you're kind of looking at this to use it, You're looking for, oh, where the red line's at, where's liquidity at, like where's price actually going to go to. That's kind of the idea. Um, it's uh, yeah, that's how people use it to actually, yeah, look at the market. We just like to use it for our battle box basically, so we're just gonna go ahead and grab a screenshot of it. Head back here to our battle box, send it in, and see what it has to say. And I'm gonna go ahead and go back. Well, never mind. We'll wait a second for this to get started here. And it looks like we got all of the required inputs now, so we can go ahead and generate us some market data. We actually were doing a overhaul to the GPT last night, so it is a little bit different, a little bit new. So uh, that is one thing. I guess let us know if anything kind of comes up that you're looking at, like, oh man, this doesn't work, or this is worse than this and whatever. Just let us know. Comment in any of our videos. Jump on the live. Tell us anything is helpful. We want to make this the best we can for you all. And again, completely free, so try it out for sure in the comment section. We don't charge you for it. It's just a tool to use to help you basically get educated and learn how to trade. So what we're going to do here is we'll run through the time frames here, maybe look at some of the levels, and then we'll throw up a battle plan here and see how that goes. So what I'll do is we're going to start with some TA, and I'll kind of read through the battle box, and then we'll run through the TA a little bit as well. So the 4-hour price rejected at clustered HCF supply near 92.9 or 93K, sitting below the 200 MA. MACD is rolling over after prior impulse leg, and RSI cooled down from overbought but still midline. Structure remains higher low, higher high, but still slowing. Okay. So basically, to break that down, we are below our 200, above our 21, kind of in that middle zone here. Typically, whenever we are above, we're bullish. When we're below both, we are bearish. In between them, it's just kind of a neutral zone here. One thing to note is we are on a uptrend. So that's what I was saying about the higher highs, higher high. Basically, a high is whenever the chart kind of comes up and then falls off. So you'd say, oh, high, and another high here, and high here. At least that's how I would kind of look at it. High, high, high. You could say like, oh, there's high, high, high. But overall, we're seeing higher highs and higher lows. So what that means is we're in that uptrend here, looking to continue to the upside. That's a bullish trend, basically, in a nutshell. Some people actually use that to trade. Some people will throw their lines on here like this and then say like, oh, when we get the breakout above this, then we'll take that trade up. Or, oh, when we get the breakout below here, we'll take the trade down. It's kind of the idea. Works for some people, not everybody. So, yeah, it's not our system. It's basically what I'm saying, I guess. So, higher highs, higher lows. We're in that uptrend. You're seeing RSI kind of curl off. However, the slower moving average is continuing up. So, that's a bullish sign. That means we could see that price action continue to the upside here after a little bit of a pullback. The stochages are at the top in that overbought zone. Honestly, not anything crazy. It's not something we worry about on the higher time frames like this. Yeah, that's really it for the 4-hour kind of in that neutral zone right now. Still looking like we could drop down. But as for right now, we still have some room to go up. See if we can clear that 200 here and flip the trend that we've been on for a little bit. Heading to that 1 hour. So the 1 hour, the battle box says we have a strong rejection wick from the 93K pullback zone is stabilized above the 1 hour 200. MACD is crossing bearish. Momentum is fading. RSI is mid-range and drifting, and trend is still up, but extended and vulnerable. So you're seeing the MACD cross down, seeing some of that bearish candles come in. Typically get about 8 before we see it kind of start to flip the other way, and we got 1, 2, 3, 6, 7 right now. So one more. General rule of thumb, honestly, it could go more, could go less. That's just kind of a average that it kind of goes. So our SI, we're seeing that fall off here. We were in that overbought zone, and now we're kind of falling off. We do have some bearish div here. So you can see price action and RSI are different. Price action, you have an uptrend in the highs, and the RSI, you have a downtrend in the highs, which means we have that bearish RSI here. So we could see more of a pullback here on the 1 hour. We are actually above the 200 and the 21 though, so that is a bullish sign for the 1 hour, even though the two main indicators are looking bearish. The stochages are curling as well, so that could be a possible sign of up. However, like we said, higher time frames, HGFs, we don't really use the stochages on. It's not something. It's not an indicator that we're really worried about on these long time frames like this. Typically, stochages are more of that short-term time frame kind of chart. It is a good indicator whenever they line up with the other ones, and kind of show. It just shows that like confirmation, I guess. But it's not something that if the stochages are down and the other two are saying up, I'm going to be like, oh, we're going to go down because of the stochages. But yeah, it's not that kind of indicator, honestly. It's not used very often on these higher time frames like this. We're going to head to the 15-minute here. So 15-minute as well, we are above the 21 and the 200. Haven't gotten a close above it. We did just break down below it, and now we're waiting to get that close above to confirm that we'll stay above it again. The battle box says we got that breakdown candle swept the morning volume area high and the 24-hour volume area high. We lost the 21 in May. MACD is weak and flattering. RSI is falling towards the 40s, and stochages are in a deep reset with a mild bounce. Okay, so it's running off of like data from a few minutes ago, so we probably still were below the 21. We are above the 21 though now. We're above pretty much everything here. You're seeing the MACD here start to curl, continue to the upside. RSI is at about 50. Really kind of flat. We're seeing a little bit of a curl to the upside, so possible upside action here, but more or less it's still flat. So we could see either way from that. Stochages are applicable on this time frame, and you're seeing them curl as well here about mid-zone, mid-line there. So overall, 15-minute, not anything insane, saying we're either going to go either way, but it does look like it's starting to get that flip to the bullish side here again. Heading to the 5-minute, we're above the 21 and the 200 as of this candle. Haven't gotten a close above it yet. You're seeing the MACD curl to the upside, RSI is curling to the upside, and stochages are continuing up here as we continue our run. The battle box is going to be a little bit behind, but it says we have a sharp liquidation spike down to the 92.4, reclaiming small structure. MACD is still heavy, RSI is oversold and recovering, and stochages reset at low end. So it was running off data from probably, I don't know, couple of minutes ago. But now you can see we are getting that flip here. We're getting that flip above the 200 after this crash through it. So we'll see if we can continue to hold that, continue up here. We are getting that flipped in momentum, so we're looking more to the upside. Yeah, that's kind of the markets overall. So we're kind of just waiting for confirmation here to see which way the market is actually going to go today. Honestly, a lot of the time frames kind of look like either way. The lower time frames are definitely on the more bullish side just because we are above the 200 and the 21. However, will we hold that? I don't know. We'll see. 5 minutes says we will. We'll see if the 15 minutes starts to kind of flip and confirm that as well, and that'll kind of tell us, hey, you know, we're going to stick with this. So we'll see which way we're going to go. We're going to actually go back to our battle box here and go ahead and make a battle plan. And a battle plan is basically just our way of building something that will show you kind of the blueprints for what you could do for today, and kind of what's possible, what to be looking for, what to be watching for, that kind of thing. So if you ask it to make a battle plan, it's a great way to kind of get an eye for what the market has. You will need to make a DMR. So you'll want to make the DMR first and then make the battle plan. That's kind of the general rule of thumb, but yeah, just set it up and you'll see it on here. Okay, so we got our structural overview, long side plan. So basically what it's saying for long is we need two consecutive 15-minute closes above 93.3. I believe that's probably that's pretty close to the 21 here. So we'll need those two closes above that 93.3 area. Oh wow, actually that's above. It's probably pretty close to the 21 back whenever it made it. So you want two closes above the 21 here. After the 15-minute breakout confirmation, we get two closes above that. You'll want the 5-minute 21 turning upwards toward the 200. Oscillators must reset. Prefer pullbacks into microstructure on the 5-minute retest. The targets we're looking at for today, so I'll kind of throw those on here. We're looking at 93.8. So we'll actually throw these on here, 93.8. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my lines back to be green and turn them on the dashed here just so I know their levels. That's just how I like to have mine set up. So 93.8, 94.3, and I'll just get them kind of close. 94.3, 96.1. So those are our levels for today. It says if we break that, we could go also to that 96 level. So we'll just kind of throw our 3 different levels on there for now. Short side, if we get 2 closes below that 91,900 level, which is definitely possible. And I'm going to throw back on my FRVP levels here. Just so we know where they are. So if we get 2 closes below the 91, what was it? 91,900 level. So essentially, if we get 2 closes below where we kind of made a low here, then that's where we'll be looking at taking a trade. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that. Our targets are going to be 91.2. Basically, that's right here. And then our next target will be that 24-hour volume area low at 9,700. And then 89,600 will be our next target, which is pretty close to that 200 on the 15-minute. That's if we end up taking a downside trade here. And we'll get these kind of lined up just so they look nice. There we go. So those are kind of the trades. Which one are we going for today? Honestly, we'll see. It kind of depends on what happens. What happens to that news? That is something to be watching out for. Is that news coming out fairly soon? I believe it's 9, right? So we already are kind of in that zone here, ready for that news to kind of come out. Yeah. Hidden liquidity notes, stay long. Yeah, nothing too exciting after that. So we're just waiting for that confirmation either way. Then we'll kind of jump in it, take the trade up, take the trade down. Neither way is really like blatantly standing out today. So it really could be either. This is why we just trade the system. Just get in when the system tells you to get in, stay out when the system tells you to stay out. Pretty simple stuff here. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking for today. So if y'all are interested, we're got a recap coming out at 10. It is a new style of video, so go ahead and check those out. We changed up the recap a little bit. See if you guys like it. Just let us know in the comments what you think about it. Check that one out. We also have an X account, so check that out. We'll post some levels on there, post links to our videos, stuff like that. Just go ahead and like and subscribe for us, please. It helps our channel grow. And please follow our X account if you can too. Helps us out a lot. Thank y'all for all that you've done. Thank you for watching our video. We will catch y'all tomorrow at 8 for our next live stream. Make sure you tune into that. But other than that, happy trading to y'all, and we will see y'all tomorrow. See you tomorrow.